Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to Photoshop. So in today's class we are going to learn how to use a simple tool that we have on Photoshop, and we are also going to learn how to cut pictures and merge pictures together. So pretty simple. What exactly you need for this class is simply a layer with one picture. So for the purpose of this class, we are going to use the layer right here. So basically what you can see here is that this layer is a smart object. And what we want to do with this layer is pretty simple. We want to cut it in 4 pieces and simply place those 4 pieces in each corner of the picture. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. So what we'll do to be able to do this, well, the first step is pretty simple, is simply transform our smart object into a normal layer. How exactly do we do this? It's pretty simple. So we are going to right click right there, so not on the thumbnail but on the text part. And from there, what we want to do is pretty simple. We are simply going to click on rasterize layer. So from there, we have rasterized our layer. What we can do now, we can bring the modifications that we want to our layer. And what we are going to use as a tool to be able to cut our layer in 4 pieces, it's pretty simple, is the tool right here. So basically it's a rectangular marquee tool. So let's start. So pretty simple, we are going to start by the piece right here. And what we can do right now, we can simply move this piece. So pretty simple, we have selected our piece that we want to move. Now what we want to move, now what we want to do, we simply want to take it away. So here we have taken away our piece. As you can see, we have one piece right here. So right now it's not that beautiful, so we are going to try it again. So pretty simple, we are going to select our piece right there. And here we go, we have just cutted our piece. We'll do the same thing right here, so pretty simple. We're cutting out this piece right there, and we can move it. So basically, this tool is pretty simple. It's a tool that is used to crop a picture. So what we are going to do, what we are doing right now, we're simply cropping a picture. Well, the picture that we have. So here we go. And finally, the last one is the one right here. So what we want to do is simply select it and move it as well. Here we go. All right, so right now we have 4 pieces. The only matter with this is that those 4 pieces are part of one and same layer. In other words, let's say for example, let's say I want to move one part of the picture. Well, I can't. It's gonna move the whole layer together. So basically, those 4 parts of the picture are staying, well, became the same layer. So basically, if I want to be able to move each part of the picture, what I need to do is simply create a separate picture for each of those layers. So let's do it. So pretty simple. We'll just click on Control Z to bring everything together, and we are going to cut it in 2 pieces. It's gonna be way more simpler. So pretty simple. So here we go. We'll cut it in 2 pieces. So right now we have our piece right here. We'll click on Control X, come back here and click on Control V. So as you can see, we have our 2 pieces. So we have the first part of the layer and the second part of the layer. So we have our 2 parts of the layer. What we can do right now is pretty simple. We can work with each part separately. And as you can see, we can put them back together. So if we, for example, want to work with the picture as a whole, what we can do, we can merge them together as we've learned in the first, in the past course. So we can merge the layers together or simply create a group where we are going to work with those 2 layers together. Or if we want to have our picture back, well, in this case, what we can do is simply put back the layers together. So let's say, for example, for our project, we want to crop our picture in 2 pieces, so something like this. And what we want to do, we want to have our picture that looks like this. So what we'll do right now is pretty simple. We can simply take those two layers together and simply merge them. So in this case, we are going to look for this, well, for this option right here. Click on it, and as you can see, those two pictures became one layer together. So as I explained to you guys, merging layers is not always, well, it's not the best thing to do. In my opinion, I always prefer to work with separate layers because it's more simpler. In this case, we only have cutted the picture in two, so it's not a big deal. So it's pretty simple to create two layers with those two pictures. But in the case that you guys have a lot of details and a lot of things that you want to work with, it's not a good idea to put everything together and to merge it. So pretty important. You can work with, you can work with each part of the picture separately. So in a separate layer for each part of the picture. Another thing, when you have, for example, in this case, we worked with one picture. So what we can do, well, we started with one smart object. So the first thing that I would suggest you guys to do is take your smart object and duplicate it. In the case that what you did with the first smart object is not that good or you don't like it, instead of clicking on Control Z and coming back, well, you already have another smart object and you can just delete the past other layers. So those are just little tips that I personally use. Besides of that, I think you guys had a complete introduction to layers and what you can do with this. Yes, you can do some more advanced things with layers, but once again, since it's just an introductory level course, my goal here is not to try to make experts from you about Photoshop, but just really to teach you the basics, and so this way you will be able to create projects with this app. So right now you should have all the basics that you know about layers. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in our next class.